The Great Barrier Reef is considered the world's most extensive coral reef ecosystem and single largest living organism on the planet. The reef inhabits an immense and remarkable array of marine wildlife, making it one of the most biodiverse areas on Earth. Situated in the Coral Sea off the coast of Queensland, Australia, the reef stretches over 2,300 kilometres from the Torres Strait Islands at the northern point south to Fraser Island. Officially classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1981, the Great Barrier Reef has established itself as not only a part of Australian heritage but global significance. The reef has significant cultural and spiritual meaning to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who have sustainably utilised the reef's resources over several thousands of years. The reef is also a major tourist attraction, bringing in 1.6 million visitors annually and is the economic backbone for the coastal areas surrounding Cairns and in the Whitsunday Islands. The primary structure of the reef is built by billions of minuscule organisms called coral polyps, which are closely related to anemones and jellyfish. The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority considers the earliest evidence of complete reef structures to be 600,000 years old. According to the same authority, the current living reef structure is believed to have begun establishing on the previous platform around 20,000 years ago. The latitudinal and cross-shelf diversity, combined with diversity through the depths of the water column and its extensive range, bring together a harmonious ecological community of unique species and habitats seen nowhere else. This diversity of species and habitats and their interconnections make the Great Barrier Reef one of the richest and most complex natural ecosystems on Earth. Comprising of over 25% of all known marine creatures on the planet, its diversity includes over 410 species of hard coral, 1,620 species of fish, 2,000 species of sponges, 14 species of sea snake, 6 of the world's 7 species of marine turtle, at least 300 mollusk species, and over 630 species of echinoderm. This immense diversity means the Great Barrier Reef is of enormous scientific and intrinsic importance, especially for endemic species. It also contains a significant number of species whose IUCN conservation status is classified as either vulnerable, threatened, endangered, or critically endangered. Unfortunately, the health of the Great Barrier Reef ecosystem is not only impacted by climate change, but by several other threats, either directly or indirectly. These include poor water quality due to sediment runoff, pollutants contaminating water from local developments and degraded land, and the crown of thorns starfish, which prey on nearly all species of coral. Acknowledging these contributors do significantly impact the reef, they pale in comparison to the evident consequences of climate change. The Earth's mean temperature has been rising for more than 100 years, caused primarily by an increase of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas emissions. Climate change has impacted the Great Barrier Reef in 4 key areas, affecting the balance of this fragile ecosystem. Coral bleaching, a phenomenon brought on by coral expelling the algae from their tissue, causing them to turn white. This bleaching slows the coral's growth and hinders the ability to reproduce. 2. Ocean acidification, impacting corals which require a more alkaline pH level to build skeletons and reform reefs. 3. Habitat changes, causing species to seek cooler climates and disrupt the balance of the ecosystem. And 4. Severe weather events such as cyclones and floods, which significantly damage the reef. Protecting the biodiversity of this universally significant reef should already be a globally core objective. However, ongoing cumulative impacts including widespread coral bleaching and other detrimental impacts have elevated concerns for the reef's future. Scientists continue to conduct research into the many facets affecting the reef, and their findings are integral to the welfare of the reef. Initiatives such as the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, which assembled leaders from over 200 nations to address the impacts of climate change, are essential to the future prosperity of our planet. At the Accord, a deal was reached and a monumental pledge was made to make immediate and ongoing decarbonisation efforts on a global scale. This could only be defined as a truly historic moment and brought a scientific consensus of perceived uncertainty and turned it into a shared global political and environmental campaign. Whilst positively and contributing to the climate change at an individual or local community scale is commendable and will have notable future impacts, it is only through legislative industry sanctions and an internationally cohesive focus on the well-being of the planet will we successfully overcome these critical climate issues we are presently faced with, which are so detrimental to the Great Barrier Reef.